and welcome back to this special episode of In Focus, where this week, as we are this month, we're talking all about how to scale a brokerage. And many of our partners this year are really delving into how they're supporting brokers and doing it too. One such partner is VA Platinum, an outsource provider who's been helping many brokers across the country scale their businesses and really hit the ground running so they can free up their time to do the high volume business. We are sitting down with Kate Garrett, the director of Littlespring Finance, to explore how she scaled her brokerage through outsourcing with VA Platinum. We'll unpack the challenges she faced as deal volumes increased, why she chose outsourcing over onshore hiring, how she embedded her VA into the business, and what has changed since building an offshore support team. Thanks, Kate, for joining me. How are you going?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
I think what's really interesting about your business over in WA is that because, you're out there doing your thing, and half the time a lot of people might not have had the pleasure of meeting you if they haven't been over there. Can you give us an idea of how long you've been broking for and how long you've had your business?
So I started, as an admin role in 2013. My parents actually had a broking and financial planning business. So I started in the financial planning side of the business, found it wasn't quite the fit for me, and moved into the mortgage broking, which I loved, absolutely loved the pace and the drive, I guess, you needed for that side of the business. So started there, worked my way up to writing my own business, probably about 2015 or 16, I believe I started, and have proceeded to then build out my own business after my parents retired. So now managing my own company and going strength to strength.
I love it. I love having multi-generational family businesses as brokers. That's one of my faves.
It's amazing learning opportunity. And I think you can probably push the bounds a little bit further than you can with other people. And they were the most amazing mentors. I was very, very lucky to have their years of knowledge to learn. I had my own clients. So look, there was an evolution, I guess, of the transfer of a lot of my mum's clients. So we worked very closely together. So in just doing the admin for her clients, I learned to know them. I took on some of those clients, but it was really on organic growth of my own book. So really most of those clients are mine that I have worked with and built that over time. And obviously, as people who have worked in Perth will know the market, there were many years at the beginning there that were really tough and a market that really went backwards. I did cut my teeth on some very difficult deals, which I think kind of paved the way for me to have a bit of resilience as well in building the business. I was working ridiculous hours and I was doing a lot of the follow-ups, a lot of the credit critical things for applications I was still having to do myself. And I thought this was just, it wasn't a good use of my time. I was the money maker. So I thought, my cost per hour, it didn't make sense. So I really had to reevaluate that to think if I want to build this business and grow, then I had to take that next step. So I then made the decision that I thought, well, in talking to VA Platinum, that they could bring on someone full-time for the cost of someone part-time, even less. And for me, that just made absolute sense to have someone there all the time.
You had Tiffany then assigned to you. How did the first few sort of embedding months look like? What did they look like?
It's difficult. I think people need to understand that although VA Platinum do offer the basic training at the beginning for the first 6 weeks, they do offer them all the information and, loan to value ratios, what an LMI is. But you've got to understand, as we all know, starting that process, it's so much information to take in. So it gives them the basic tools, but you really have to make the time to train them and take that time away from your business. And I think that's something we're all very afraid to do because you just want to keep doing that business. But I found that communicating with my clients, letting them know that I was training someone, that things were going to take a little bit longer to get back to them is what you have to do. Because if you don't put that time in at the beginning to train them, you aren't going to get the best out of them. And I think that that's something really important because I think people just think, oh, they get training, they're going to come on and it's going to be instantly fantastic. It's not a realistic idea of how the process works, but it's like anyone, onshore or offshore, the more time you put into them at the beginning, the better off you're all going to be. After that, let's say month to 3 month period, it's worth all that time because once they start to learn and pick things up, you're like, wow, I've freed myself up already in a few months for these tasks that I was wasting my time on. So Tiffany does pretty much everything from the beginning of the process. So sending the fact find or client center out to my client, sending them a link to my diary to book in an appointment time, time. I then do the meeting, I do my notes, and I put together my credit proposal and the notes for the application. I send that back to Tiff, and Tiff then does pretty much everything from application through to settlement and beyond. So I have quite a hands-off experience now on that end of the deal, but really I can really step back from all of that, which frees up an immense amount of time. I think brokers don't understand how much time you lose on the phone to assessors and the like when you could be doing other things. Tiff and I are on Teams all day long. We talk incessantly on Teams, but we always check in with each other every morning, every night, during the day. I know about her son, she knows about my life, so we do add that extra level of personal information too, which I think is really important to build that relationship together. And going to Cebu was amazing because we had worked together for 2 years. Actually meeting her in person was so fantastic, and the chemistry between us was unbelievable. I could have sat and worked with her for days on end. Actually, I can't even quantify it. I trust Tiff implicitly. I just know things get done. What I said before about taking the time to train them, and as overwhelming as that can feel in the moment, it is worth its weight in gold once you train them the way you want them to be. It does take that time, but taking that little bit of time away will really revolutionize the offering you can give to your clients. The way that they train and look after their people, I think, is really encouraging, and going to see it myself was fantastic. And it really feels like they create a beautiful hub for the people that work there.